This is Sonia with ULS. I'm here with Ally, the CEO, and Donald and Francis, who are the copywriters, and we're talking about storytelling and why it's important to businesses. So I'm going to start off with Ally, and she's going to talk about why storytelling is important.
I think there is nothing more important than storytelling in our business. I think what we do for others is helping them to understand their story in some cases. Some cases they bring the story to us, and we need to be the professionals that put the story in the best light for the audience to understand it and to deliver the message the business wants to deliver through that story. Whether they sell something, or they offer services, or they're just a book author, the story has to be present. And there is nothing more important than the story. And any businessman who already has a business or is just establishing her business needs to understand that they need to start from the story. They need to sit down themselves somewhere in the quiet room, work with the family, and define what is that story, right? What inspired them to create to establish the business or create something that they sell, or what inspired them to offer those services. I think everyone will agree with me that storytelling is a universal feature of any country, any culture. It's been there from the tribes period. I also read something recently that in the tribes, the leaders were not the strongest ones, they were not the smartest ones, they were the most talented storytellers. And that actually has come to us within our political world now. It's the one that tells us the best story, that's the one we vote for. well, majority votes goes to the ones that we like the story for, right? While a picture talks, I think the story tells and sells. I think that's what makes storytelling such an important factor and feature in marketing and in business and in general everything what we do. And it became the base of any organization. Like the biggest brands, they have a story we follow, right? We are in love with the brands that we are liking their story, liking how they inspire us to buy their products, and that's what we fall for all the time.
Yeah, I think stories convey an emotion. So you want to be inspired, something that will, maybe makes you sad, you want to help. You see all these commercials of, children that are hungry and the story that, comes along with it. You don't just see the visual, there is some sort of backstory. If you want to buy a pair of shoes, there's always a story as, to the athlete and how strong you're going to be, and all, they choose all these little sound bites to create a story based around whatever product, service, or if it's a person, the person's the brand. There's always a story. So I think it's very important to convey an emotion or to generate an emotion from the person that's reading, because or else it's boring and you're not inspired, you're not willing to take action.
Right. Absolutely. But there is also a technique on how that story is applied and written. And I'd like to talk to Donald and Francis because they do it every day. That's what they're here for. They come in the morning, they go to their room, and they write. Yeah. So when you get to write for a business that comes to hire ULS, can you talk a little bit, what is your process? Where you start from, and how do you make sure that that story relates to the audience that they are trying to acquire?
I think one of the most important parts is figuring out the two main things of what kind of story does the client want to tell, and what kind of demographic do they want their story to reach. If we're selling, say, like a sports car, you want to flatter your audience. You want to tell them that they deserve this high quality instrument, that it reflects how impressive they are. But if you're trying to sell, say, medicine, you're trying to console the audience. You want to reassure them that their problem is going to get resolved and that this product is going to help them feel better.
Right. But how important is for you to understand yourself the story of that business before you start writing?
Oh, it's critical. We need to do as much research as we can on like what we're representing. We want to get as much information from the client as we possibly can, so we have the most amount of knowledge that we can work with.
Right. And that's why we are always asking hundreds of questions before we actually start on anything. And I know that one of the techniques we practice is writing a questionnaire to whoever we will be working with, right? Answer to us this and that and that. And that's why the businesses that receive such a questionnaire need to be taking it very seriously. Again, I will repeat myself, but it's true because that's the base of what you are taking in order to write that story.
So what if a client comes to us and they don't have a story? They just have a couple of sound bites where they say, oh, you know, I have this whimsical product that I want to sell. How do you guys put together the story? Besides, so we've sent them the questionnaire, they've returned it to us with whatever the responses are. How do you take that and then create the story?
Personally, from work experience, what I've done is built on that short, like quip or whatever their favorite quote is, and then expand it by doing all the boring stuff like research, and then more research about the company, the clients, and their competitors. So out of that, you get something, a good, like a synthesis of all the positives and negatives of competition, their company, and everything in between.
And how do you make sure that that copy that you write is going to be visible in the search engines?
For that, we'd want to employ SEO, or search engine optimization. We want to do research on what are like trending keywords, hashtags, meta tags, things that popularly turn up in searches around this industry, this market, this product. We want to make sure we implement as many of those as we can that are as relevant as possible to whatever we're representing, to make sure that not only does it attract the audience, but it's going to be put in front of them in the first place.
Do you use a combination of long tail keywords? Is that what it is? Where it's like a phrase because it targets more niche audiences, or do you just use like vague, not vague, but like more popular single, general words?
Try to get a mix of both, like identify, you want to make sure you cast a broad net, but in a spot where you know what you're going to catch sort of situation. By all means, get some broader terms that are going to bring in people, but know specifically who you're trying to reach and what's going to appeal to them. You sprinkle that, and that's going to make sure that not only do you reach them, but you get them.
Or also try and think about the consumers, like think the way they think. So when you come up with keywords, it's coming from their mentality. So what is the best social media influencer these days? So like bits and pieces of that phrase, that sentence, that question that they always think and type on Google would be the best keywords and key phrases that you could use on your copy.
I think like the process we take is more like a scrapbook. We first deliver the story and then we understand whether that's the true story, right, behind the brand, or whether the client likes the story after the research and so on. And then we go and say, well, will that story or website or whatever we are working on pop up in the search engines? And then we start replacing those words, like finding them and replacing them, and still making sure that the story doesn't lose its integrity and is still coherent. And that's what is very important in what we are doing for the clients.